Actually, I've never seen it, even though I've been there like 100 times.
It's got a huge porch around it, but it's a nice brick building, not too
Downtown.
No, we are. We are referring to the
Thank you.
general plan. We are referring to the general plan. We're not referring to
friend's daughter.
Yeah. I was trying to get in there, but she was real busy and all that.
Yes. I
Yeah.
brought a rose for Francine. They didn't have her name on it. When I went to Teresa, what's her name? Why didn't we? No.
I'm going to recommend that her name just be there for a long time. Yeah.
It's like I told Beth, I said, I don't care if you have it or not. She's here.
Yeah.
She's here.
How are
I
you?
thought this would take a shortcut. I'm good.
Yeah.
No, Mr. T. We see you. So yes, get to be seen. I know. We're looking forward to it. This is going to be cathartic emotional ride. Even though spiritually it will be something later on. Tonight is just going to be
I'm like double layered.
Good evening and welcome, everyone. I'm calling tonight's regular City Council meeting of April 21, 2026 to order. Let's stand and proudly recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, would you kindly do roll call, please?
Councilmember Brando Cruz.
Here.
Councilmember Melissa Lamatina.
Here.
Councilmember David Oro.
Here.
Vice Mayor Mark Joseph.
Here.
Mayor Pierre Washington.
Here. Thank you, Teresa. Report on closed session and confirmation of reportable actions, Ms. Highsmith.
Thank you, Mayor. There were 4 items of business in closed session this evening. In no particular order, conference with legal counsel regarding a matter of anticipated litigation. The council received a briefing from staff and the city attorney's office. No action was taken. The council also received a briefing, information in a conference on real property negotiations regarding APN 057-090-065, 057-120-036, 057-090-066, and 057-120-017. Information was provided by the city manager. Direction was provided and no action was taken in closed session. Skipping to number 4, regarding the quarterly performance evaluation for the city manager, the council received a briefing and update on the city manager's initiatives and milestones. No action was taken. And finally, regarding the performance evaluation of the contract city attorney, in response to my request, the City Council this evening graciously determined that as of May 1st, Matthew Summers, my fellow shareholder in the firm of Colantuno, Highsmith, and Watley, will assume the official title and role of City Attorney for the City of American Canyon, and I will assume the secondary position of Assistant City position. So effectively, we're switching roles. This was pursuant to a unanimous vote of the City Council. Thank you so much. I want to thank the council and staff for 10 great months of all working together, getting to know you for the benefit of the City of American Canyon and its citizens. And I'm looking forward to continuing my representation of American Canyon, but in this secondary role. Many of you already work with Matt, and I'm really confident that it's going to be a seamless transition. And tonight is my last in-person meeting here with the City Council in the City of American Canyon. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Madam City Attorney Teresa Highsmith. Before we continue tonight's agenda, I'd like to take a moment to honor the life and the legacy of Fran Lemos. Fran was truly an icon to our community, often referred to as the mother of American Canyon. Her contributions, her spirit, and her deep love for the city helped shape who we are today. Her impact on this community will be ever felt for generations to come. On behalf of the City Council, I extend a heartfelt condolences to her family, her friends, and all who she has touched their lives. I'd like to ask for a moment of observation and a moment of silence on behalf of Fran Lemos and her family. Thank you. And I'd like to ask Rebecca if she's willing and able, if she would say a few words for the city.
Yeah, I didn't prepare anything for this. I just came to sit in her chair tonight, so I didn't know about this. But I will tell you that we're going to have a rosary for Mom, and you're all invited. The community's invited. It'll be held on Monday, April 27th at 6 o'clock. Family time will be from 5 to 8, but you're welcome to come, 5:30, and there'll be some coffee, tea, cookies, and water set up, and it's going to be at the Twin Chapels on 1100 Tennessee Street in Vallejo. We're going to have a celebration of life for my mom at the Boys and Girls Club in the Trinchero building. If you were at her 95th birthday party, that's the same place. My dad, we have a tree in honor of my dad in the park there, and there's a lot of light in there, and that's where we celebrated her 95th birthday. So I know she loved the Boys and Girls Club, so we thought that was appropriate. And luckily, it was available July 25th. So if you'd like to speak at that, you're going to be welcome to speak also. We're going to have a few family members speak at her rosary, after the rosary, and this is what my mom wanted. In the hospital, I said, because she changed her mind over the years so many times about what she wanted. I just want to have a funeral. No, I don't want to have a funeral. I think I want a celebration of life. No, I want to have a rosary and a full mass. Anyway, she just changed her mind 10 times. So when she was in the hospital, I said, Mom, I need your final decision. What do you want? So she said that she wanted to have a rosary and have people come to that, and then she wanted the funeral the next day just to be her family. And because she didn't want people to get tired of going to things for her. She wanted people to go to the rosary for the religious part and then go to her celebration of life. And she said, I want a big celebration of life. So, and she had a wonderful big life to celebrate. So I just wanted to let you know those dates and times, and thanks to all of you for reaching out and all the visitors and love. She loved this city. It was her family. I wouldn't say more than us kids. My brother Randy's here, but yeah, sometimes it seemed like it. Many times, when she first was sick a year ago, I would come down on Thursday and spend Thursday to Saturday with her, and then go to my daughter's in Oakland on Sunday to help her with my grandchildren, her daughters. And I'd get there on Thursday like at 4, and she'd say, okay, I can only talk to you till 6. Beth's picking me up for the city council meeting. So I'd be like, okay, you want to come? Well, not really. Anyway, so the city council meeting was more important than her spending that couple hours with me, but it's okay because she loved it. And yeah, her heart will always be with American Canyon. And I heard that there was an article in the Napa Register today, and we haven't seen it. So a very nice person here just Cindy sent me some screenshots of it. So if anybody has a copy of that paper, I would love to have one. Anyway, thank you all so much. Yeah, and I'll be around. So I don't think I could ever fill her shoes, but I can try. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. I think the city needed to hear that from you. I mean, even watching you there, I see Fran through you. I mean, you're dead on her. So thank you for those comforting words. I think the city needed that to start with healing, as well as I know that you and the family need that same healing. So thank you again. Thank you. Moving forward to our proclamations and presentations for tonight, we have 3 proclamations, 2 presentations. The first proclamation will be item number 5, a proclamation for April 22nd, 2026 as Earth Day. And if we have recipients for this proclamation, you could come forward to the podium. I'll read the proclamation, and then I will allow you opportunity to kind of give us some feedback, and then we'll take a picture together. Earth Day, April 22nd, 2026. Whereas communities around the world face extraordinary challenges, including environmental and climate change, food and water shortages, and public health concerns. And whereas all people, regardless of race, gender, income, or geography, have a right to a healthy and sustainable environment. And whereas citizens must take action to create positive environmental change and address these changes. And whereas we are all caretakers of our planet and have an obligation to protect it, its beauty and resources for current and future generations. And whereas a sustainable environment can be promoted through education, public policy, and responsible consumer behavior. And whereas broad and diverse participation strengthens the growth of the global efforts to preserve our environment. And whereas we encourage business owners, institutions, and residents of American Canyon to celebrate the earth and to commit to being good stewards of our land and our water resources. And whereas on Earth Day and every day, the American Canyon community is encouraged to reduce consumptions and waste, recycle, utilize renewable resources, prevent pollution, and conserve water, land, and energy. And now, therefore, I, Pierre Washington, Mayor of the City of American Canyon, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby recognize April 22nd, 2026 as Earth Day in American Canyon, and call upon all our community to celebrate and participate in activities that promote environmental sustainability, dated April 21st, 2026. Oh. I thought you were going to say a few words before I get. Throw me off.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hard to be the next person to go after hearing from Becky. So really happy to see family here tonight. And so I'm Janelle Selleck. I'm Executive Director of the American Canyon Community and Parks Foundation, and joined here tonight by some of our committee, staff, and board members. So thank you all for coming. And I see other familiar faces in the room and supporters of ours. It's really an honor to be here to accept this proclamation tonight. Earth Day is something that I think is closer to everybody's hearts as life goes on. And it's what better place to celebrate than in American Canyon, where we're surrounded by such tremendous natural beauty. At the foundation, Earth Day and Earth Month is something that we live every day through our programs. And I thought I'd share just a couple examples of things that we do. Because a lot of times when people think about Earth Day or sustainability or environment, it can be a divisive topic. It can be something that people think is not for them. Or sometimes we even hear from our teens, like, it's kind of depressing. We don't know what the future holds. But there's also a lot of positivity to be seen with it. There's a lot of really exciting new developments and technologies that are helping us combat things like climate change. At the foundation that we work, the work that we do is really around connecting nature and community and fostering the next generation of environmental stewards. We have a program called Teen Wild that serves about 25 to 30 teens each year from throughout American Canyon and Napa County. And as you all know, teens are busy. They're probably frequently on their phones, as are we as adults, right? And recently, one of our staff, Andrea, took a class in nature mindfulness and is becoming certified. And as part of that, we held a program with our teens to encourage them to slow down and do a project called sound mapping. So our teens came to us after a busy day at school, and we had them disconnect. We had them take a moment, use their nature journal, and go out into the wetlands and watch the sunset. And when they did that, they just slowed down and took in where they were. So through sound mapping, they really connect with the natural environment, they connect with themselves, and they slow down. And although they were a little like, well, I don't know if this is for me at first, afterward they all said, this felt so good. I need to do this every day. So that's the kind of thing that we're doing at the foundation. And as we move forward and look to the future, I'm excited to share that we're breaking ground on the Napa River Ecology Center project in 2 weeks from today on May 6th. So thrilled to see that moving forward. We are about 95% funded of the $9 million. So we continue to have a great way for people to be involved. You can sponsor a mosaic tile. So I encourage all of you to, if you have already, thank you. We appreciate your support. This is a place for the community to come and celebrate months like Earth Month, Earth Day, and moving forward into May, National Wetlands Month. So we have a twofer in American Canyon. We get Earth Month and then we get Wetlands Month. So what a great place to celebrate. Although construction on the Eco Center will take about a year, we have a few programs coming up I wanted to take a moment and invite you to. We have a wetlands cleanup on Saturday, May 9th. As well as a seminar with a climate professor, Dr. Drew Isaacs from UC Berkeley. Both of those, one in a cleanup in the morning and the seminar in the afternoon. And in partnership with RCD and the city, we're doing a Right Tree, Right Place education program at Shenandoah Park on Friday, May 1st. And then moving forward, all month long, we'll be celebrating Wetlands Month. Come out to the Wetlands Linear Trailhead and the path. We have 9 pieces of beautiful wetland animal-themed art that will be on display for the whole month of May and will be up for auction. So we hope to see you, and thank you all very much.
Thank you. I was going to also ask, the Vice Mayor mentioned that the Youth for Climate Action was also here too. So you guys just be standing up here with this group. So if you guys would come up also for our picture, we'd appreciate that.
Let's get everybody up for
Yeah.
the picture. Yeah.
And even from Napa Climate Now is up here
Miles?
too.
Come up. We'll do a picture.
Yes, yes. Our second proclamation is item number 6, a proclamation for the month of May 2026 as National Building Safety Month. So all the recipients for National Building Safety Month come forward as I read the proclamation. And we'll do the same. Well, I'll read the proclamation, allow you opportunity to kind of give some feedback, and then we'll take a photograph with each other. Reading. May 2026 is National Building Safety Month. Whereas the City of American Canyon recognizes that our future depends on the growth and the strength of our safe homes, buildings, and infrastructures. And whereas safe buildings ensure a high quality of life and protect residents when disasters strike. And whereas building safety depends on the dedication of many committed professionals in both the public and private sectors, including building officials, permit technicians, plan-checked engineers, civil engineers, building inspectors, code enforcement officers, planners, fire prevention officials, architects, engineers, building trades people, design professionals, laborers, plumbers, and construction industry support staff, as well as manufacturers. Whereas working together with the International Code Council, a nonprofit that brings together a built environment expert, all of the levels of the government to create highest levels of quality building codes. Whereas modern building codes provide comfortable, energy-efficient environments that safeguard people from natural hazards such as hurricanes, snowstorms, tornadoes, wildlife fires, floods, and earthquakes. And whereas National Building Safety Month highlights the vital contributions of building safety professionals whose expertise ensures that the structures essential to our communities are safe, sustainable, and affordable. And whereas Mission Impossible or Mission Possible. I knew I was going to say that when I first, Mission Possible. The theme of Building Safety Month of 2026 encourages us all to raise awareness about building safety on a personal, local, and global scale. Now, therefore, I, Pierre Washington, Mayor of American Canyon, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby join the nation in recognizing the month of May 2026 as National Building Safety Month, dated April 21, 2026. So talk about your Mission Impossible for me.
Well, thank you, Mayor, City Council, members of the public. I'm Brent Cooper, Community Development Director, and I'm here today joined by two of our city members of the Building and Safety team. We have Laura Welch, and we have Tiffany Ford. As the resolution mentioned, building and safety is all about teamwork, and you don't have safe buildings without a good team. And I'm really proud of our team, our city employees. We have contract staff, and also we have our building industry and partners in our town building a better American Canyon. And so really happy about the team that we have and the relationships that we foster in order to have a good building environment in American Canyon. I want to highlight just a little bit of our city staff. Laura Welch here, she embodies service with a smile. Tiffany Ford here she is firm on code, but soft on people. And Julianne Gilfus, who wasn't able to be here tonight, we have our new building software called OpenGov. OpenGov wouldn't be open if it wasn't for the diligent efforts of Julianne Gilfus. And she's continued to do that as well today and every day. So we're really working hard to make everything work together. So very honored to be here tonight with our team, and happy to see all of you.
Take a picture. And our third proclamation.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Sorry.
Mayor.
Yes, sir.
If I may, Rick Hess, I've been a developer and here in American Canyon for the last 25 years, and I'd like to just publicly thank Brent and Jason for the efforts that they've been making between us as builders and developers and the planning department and the building department. And it's I really appreciate the efforts that they've been making, and it's helping tremendously. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hess. We appreciate your partnership as well. Moving on to our third proclamation, which is item number 7, a proclamation for National Volunteer Week. And who do we have? We have Karina? And Joan? Where's the other bunch?
I think there's more. Alejandra calls a lot of volunteers, so I think there's probably more
Yeah, we
out
got
here
some
that got a
volunteers out
call.
there. Okay, now
If you
they're
had a
starting to pop
call,
up.
then get on up there.
All
There you
the prior
they
Gateway
go.
Award winners who are in the audience
yeah?
should certainly come up.
Okay, now they're coming up. Okay. Okay. The vice mayor is even trying to get up there and get some volunteers time in. There we go. I'll read the proclamation. Volunteers, excuse me, volunteers?
Yeah.
I need to read the proclamation.
Good-
I know
good
y'all volunteers
evening,
like to volunteer and talk,
everybody.
but.
Good
Okay,
evening.
wait, I'm gonna read the proclamation first, and then,
I just can't wait
I
to say
know,
things.
that's true volunteers right there. So April 19th through the 25th, 2026 is National Volunteer Week. Whereas experience teaches us that government alone cannot solve all of our social problems and meet all of our opportunities. So we have focused on partnerships with businesses, faith-based organizations, nonprofit organizations, and community members. And whereas our nonprofit organizations and community partners are essential to help build a strong community through volunteer projects and special events that help enhance our community quality of life. And whereas we shine a light on the people who inspire us to serve, recognize and thank volunteers who lend their time, their talents, and voice to make a difference within our community. And whereas volunteers empower others to take action, realize their ability to make a difference and to be a force that transforms the world. And whereas we further recognize and express our appreciation for the more than 44 nonprofit organizations and numerous community partners of the City of American Canyon collaborates with, whose collective efforts and dedication help support volunteerism and strength for our community. And whereas through their generous time, money, and kind service, many opportunities have been afforded to our community, including food and essential services distribution, community and fundraising events, programs and services, community projects, and so much more. And now, therefore, I, Pierre Washington, the mayor of American Canyon, and the City Council do proclaim April 19th through the 25th, 2026 as National Volunteer Week and call upon American Canyons to celebrate the important work that these selfless volunteers do every day throughout our community. Dated April 21st, 2026. Thank you. And Joan.
You may see all these people behind me. I will tell you, they are the movers and shakers of American Canyon. They are all Gateway Award winners, every one of them. So there's two things I want to talk about. One is the Gateway Award, and the other is volunteerism. But I also would like right now to ask anybody in this audience who has ever volunteered to stand up. This is definitely community at work. We have a special presentation that we would like to have right now, and I wonder if Mark, if you could come forward with it.
I'm going to show off that we can be really flexible, and I think what it boils down to is I think we're going to say what we're going to do for this Saturday.
Okay.
Good plan, okay.
All right. Okay, so to me, one of the things that has always made American Canyon unique is the way that people volunteer and the way that we have honored them throughout the years. The Gateway Award, all these people and more started, I don't remember the year, but I know Fran was 2003 and I was 2004, and then here we are in 2026, and all of these people and more, some of them are not here. So when I moved here in 1965, there was a volunteer water district and a pseudo-volunteer fire district, and about 8,000 people. So I've seen a lot of changes here, but what has been most important to me is the way that when we incorporated in 1992, so many people came and wanted to be on our bandwagon. They loved this city. They were happy that we were incorporated. They were finding all kinds of ways to work with each other with cooperation and volunteerism. We saw churches popping up. We saw different nonprofit organizations popping up. We saw many people, saying, I can do it, or will help, or what can I do? This was the attitude. It was the attitude of volunteers working together over this time. What they didn't realize, I don't think at the time, I don't think any of us did, was that the volunteers were actually beginning to build the social fabric of our community, and that has never stopped. Volunteers are still doing that, and they're doing it because they love the city and they want to make it as good as they can. Now, to me, that is extraordinarily important for our city. So when we look around and we see people doing the different things, the proclamation said many things, but what they didn't know is that they were doing the work of building a community, and the volunteerism was just a value that the community held and still holds. So it's appropriate, in my opinion, that the community and the city get together every year and select or vote for a new Gateway Award winner. So we will be doing that award on Saturday. So I remember, Jason, don't get mad at me, but one of the first meetings we had with Jason, and we were talking about the city honoring, and he said, well, why would we do that? Well, my mouth dropped to the floor. Of course, why would we do that? We are the city. We have buildings and we have services, and they're all good, and they all came online as the city grew. So what Jason, I decided later, didn't have is he didn't have the history of living here and knowing how volunteerism made this community. So in my opinion, the city does what they do and the volunteers do what they do, and we provide that human touch to the city, and it goes on. So I thank you for listening to me. I know somebody else wants to talk. Come on.
Thank you, Joan. You talk first. You did a good job.
Well, the city called everybody and didn't tell us, so I wrote something. But anyway, thank you, John. You've been an inspiration. So we are all truly honored to receive this proclamation recognizing Volunteer Month here in American Canyon. And on behalf of all the volunteers in our community, we thank you. Volunteerism is the heartbeat of our city. It shows up in big ways and small, whether it's supporting our schools, organizing community events, helping neighbors, or simply showing up when someone needs a hand. It's people choosing to care, to give their time, and to make a difference. This recognition is not just about one person. It represents a collective effort. It belongs to every parent who stays late to help, every student who steps up to serve, and every community member who gives without expecting anything in return. I also want to take a moment to thank our families, because behind every volunteer is a family that supports, encourages, and often joins us in giving back. Thank you for allowing us the time and for being part of this journey with us. I feel incredibly fortunate to be part of a community that believes in lifting each other up. The spirit of service here in American Canyon is strong, and it continues to inspire me and us every day. Thank you to the city for this meaningful recognition, and thank you to all the volunteers who make our community such a special place. Let's continue to show up for one another and lead with generosity and heart. Thank you. Salamat. Mil gracias.
All right, so Cindy Biederman and myself are 2008 Gateway Award winner. And so each one of these people represent a year. And we were all voted for all that we did. And of course, Fran got me into absolutely everything. I was spinning, and I had to give up the city council because it was too much. So they took me off my blood pressure medicine. It was very nice. But I just want you to know that everybody that's up here, we've worked really hard a long time ago. And so if you don't see us now, we're tired. We're just exhausted. So it is good that there's new people coming in. And then there's people like Beth that keep going. But I'm coming back. I just want you all to know you'll see more of me. And thank you very much for this proclamation. Thank you.
So, thank you so much for listening to all of us. We so love this city, all of us, and we've proven that by our works. So thank you very much, Council and Mayor, for your proclamation. We will accept it.
Thank you. We'll come up here and take a picture.
Save that for Saturday. Actually. I sure am, yeah. How to make sure you finish the sentence while I know you're talking.
I'm with you on that.
So one more time, I would just give another applaud for our volunteers. Thank you. Our first presentation this evening will be item number 8. It will be a presentation from the Napa Youth Council. So you got to go up to the front and provide your presentation. Please introduce yourselves prior to the presentation.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Amarjot Tour. I'm a senior here at American Canyon High School, and I've been a part of the Napa Youth Council for 2 years.
My name is Hazel Sharma. I'm a junior at American Canyon High School, and I've been a part of the Napa Youth Council for a year.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lillian Barrientos Aceituno, and I'm from American Canyon. I'm also a senior, and this is my first year.
My name is Kaya Prosser. I'm a junior at Justin Siena High School, and this is my 4th year on the Napa Youth Council.
Hello, my name is Jasmine Cantera, and this is my first year on Napa Youth Council. Who are we? We are the Napa Youth Council. We are a group of we are a youth-oriented group who is committed to who is committed to making a change in our community and defying unhealthy behaviors/norms. We specialize in tobacco prevention. Why is tobacco an important issue? Tobacco remains the #1 cause of preventable deaths, diseases,
Do you guys need your presentation? It's on the laptop there in front of you. If you look on the laptop, there's an icon for it. If you open it up on the other side of it there.
Thank you so much.
There you go.
Okay, let's move this off. And if you want to advance the slides, or just go to the right. If you want to go back, you'll use the left. Okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
You got this.
Why is tobacco an important issue? Tobacco use remains the #1 cause of preventable death, disease, and disability within the United States. Each year, tobacco-related diseases account for approximately 16 or 40,000 deaths in California alone. 40% of all cancer diagnoses in the United States are attributed to tobacco use.
Closer. If you can just get a little closer to my so I can hear you.
I'm sorry.
It's an important message.
Tobacco also increases in mental health issues. Direct healthcare costs attributed to tobacco use in California are $13 and 29 billion annually.
Now I want to focus on what's actually inside these tobacco products. Joining us with us is Miss Nancy, our coordinator, as well. If you look at a traditional pack of cigarettes, it has about 20 cigarettes and roughly 220 milligrams of nicotine. That's what people have been used to thinking of as a lot. But when we move to newer products, the numbers jump fast. For example, something like a Flume vape has around 3,000 puffs and about 80 milligrams of nicotine. That might not sound huge at first, but it's equal to 3 to 5 packs of cigarettes. Then we go even further with devices like the Geek Bar. This has up to 25,000 puffs and around 850 milligrams of nicotine. That's the equivalent of about 50 to 60 packs of cigarettes. And this only costs $22 to get a hold of. And even nicotine pouches like Zyn contain about 90 milligrams total per can, which equals around 3 packs. So the key point here is this. These newer products are much more concentrated and last much longer, which makes it really easy to consume more nicotine over time without realizing it. Instead of stopping after one cigarette, these teenagers can keep using these products continuously, so exposure adds up quickly.
So, as you just heard, nicotine is now much easier to access to youth. So, one way that we can prevent that is with a tobacco retail license. You might not be familiar with this term. We'll also say TRL for short, but you can compare it to a liquor retail license. So, in order to sell alcohol, you have to obtain a license through your city, and this then allows you to sell alcohol, and the money that you pay to get your license is used to check that your business is compliant. Thank you. Is compliant with all the laws that pertain to selling liquor. So this would be the same for a tobacco retail license, and Napa County is or Napa City Council has already started the process of obtaining a tobacco retail license. Calistoga has already passed a tobacco retail license, and all of our other neighbors have also passed a tobacco retail license. So we really want to make sure that we're staying with everyone else and getting this movement started here in American Canyon.
The significance. The significance of the tobacco retail license in American Canyon is that it can ensure that businesses comply with local standards, reduce youth access to tobacco, and limit the negative public health and equity impacts associated with tobacco use. It can enforce local, state, and federal tobacco control laws. Some requirements with it would be that the license is required for all retailers, one per each location, and it would be non-transferable. It would cover the cost of admiration and enforcement, and age verification would be required, and that no pharmacies would be allowed to have this license.
So some of the benefits of a tobacco retail license, as we talked about in the last slide, it would reduce the illegal sales of tobacco to minors. It would also limit the density of new tobacco retailers. So this way they wouldn't be close to schools or close to family-oriented spaces like parks and things like that. It would ensure minors are not encouraged to use tobacco, because within the license, you can also say they're not supposed to have advertisements outside advertising any of their tobacco products. So if it says like buy 2, get 1 free, or any sort of promotional material. And then overall e-cigarettes and other tobacco products, so including Zyn, as we saw on the last slide, which are pouches, they would all be regulated by this ordinance.
The importance of policy change. Policy changes aimed at reducing tobacco consumption can lead to improved public health outcomes by decreasing smoking rates. Social impact. Policy changes can help reduce normalizations of smoking behavior, particularly among younger generations, as my peers have spoke about, and promoting healthier lifestyles. The economic impacts of policy changes can help mitigate these economic burdens by reducing healthcare costs and increasing productivity. The long-term costs associated with treating tobacco-related illnesses and productivity due to illness and premature deaths often outweigh the economic benefits. Environmental impacts. Policy changes that promote reduced tobacco consumption can contribute to environmental sustainable efforts.
So what would these restrictions actually look like? Because we know that these tobacco industries, their marketing tactics really target certain groups. They target minorities, they target members of lower socioeconomic status, and as Jasmine said, that social impact, like what teenager doesn't like a good discount, right? And so we know that a lot of these places that sell these offer discounts, buy one, get one free, buy 3 for $15.99 or something like that. So these local jurisdictions can reduce the use of commercial tobacco through adopting price controls. And we know that just a 10% increase in prices reduces consumption by 3 to 5%. So this would include prohibiting those coupons and discounts and establishing minimum package sizes. We also know that 55 California jurisdictions have already adopted these ordinances with minimum prices or package sizes, and 24 California jurisdictions have ended vaping sales. And some of those neighboring counties include San Francisco, Sonoma, Solano, and Contra Costa. I also want to touch a little bit on pharmacies because as we have in that picture, that's a pharmacy, and we can see so many tobacco products. If in the back we see one that says buy 3 for either $14.95 or $4.95, I can't really see. But we see that these pharmacies are sending a mixed message, right? We know that over 2 million smokers purchase cigarettes from a pharmacy, and that 82% of pharmacists and 72% of adults believe pharmacies should not sell tobacco. And in fact, San Francisco was the first to pass an ordinance with these pharmacies and tobacco in 2008. And so here specifically in American Canyon, we conducted this poll about how people feel with youth use, tobacco product pack size, price, and support in opposition to certain elements. And we know that 93% are in favor that local policy should require store owners to have a license to sell tobacco, and 87% agree that there should be bans on price discounts on tobacco. And so we see here that a lot of our community members are agreeing that this is a danger, not only to our health, but like I said, our community, targeting these under-resourced, underserved minorities.
So, when we think about tobacco and nicotine products, we often focus on health, but there's also a major environmental impact. We see waste everywhere, cigarette butts on the ground, disposable vapes, plastic packaging. These things just don't go away. Cigarette filters are made of plastic and can take years to break down. And vape devices contain batteries and chemicals that can leak into the environment. This pollution affects our soil, water, and wildlife. And this also directly connects to Earth Day. Earth Day is about protecting our environment and making choices that reduce harm to the planet. Today, with the proclamation that was made, there's a recognition that tobacco products are not just a health issue, they're also an environmental issue. They contribute to litter, toxic waste, and long-term damage to ecosystems. On top of that, there's also the impact on the people. Secondhand smoke affects those nearby, and third-hand smoke leaves behind toxic residue on surfaces like walls, clothes, public spaces, meaning people can be exposed even after the smoke is gone. Even if you don't smoke, it's all around you. So the big takeaway is tobacco and nicotine products don't just affect the person using them, they impact the environment and the people around them. And especially today, on Earth Day proclamation, it's important to especially recognize how reducing tobacco use can also help protect our planet. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that. But I also, now that he mentioned secondhand smoke and thirdhand smoke, I want to draw your attention to these two pictures. These ones right here. These are from the Friday Night Live Club at American Canyon High School, where we tested nicotine levels on the surfaces of our bathrooms. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you can also contact Friday Night Live at ACHS. There were some pretty interesting results, and again, our health matters, so I hope you want to know more about that. Thank you.
Yeah, on behalf of the City Council, I just want to thank you for your outstanding presentation and information. And what stood out to me most was that you have a passion to share this information with others. And I never want you ever to feel as though that your voice is not heard. I think that it's important, it's meaningful to see that you stand there as a group and you're just trying to educate some of us seasoned people on what's going on, while also informing and educating your peers. So thank you for what you do. Council, anyone have any addition?
Well, first I do want to thank you for the presentation. It's been very educational. And I'm assuming that the ask is that this council ought to consider a tobacco license or retail tobacco license or whatever, TRL. And that's certainly something worth doing. And if you have some sample ordinances that other jurisdictions have adopted, I know that is always an effective way of, it's easier to replicate something that's already been done than creating the wheel over again. So if you could get that to our city clerk, I think you might have yourself some receptive audience here.
Awesome. And we did pass out a little packet in the beginning, which has some of the information we reviewed, and then it also has a tobacco retail license that's already in place.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else on council? If not, I'd love to take a picture with you guys in that swag, but I want that for my collection. Thank you so much. Got it. Our second presentation this evening is item number 9. Will be a presentation from the Napa Sierra Club on sea level rise. Please again introduce yourselves.
Thank you.
Oh, they're personalized?
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Scott.
Good evening, Mayor Washington and City Council members. My name is Kate Bitt. I'm a senior at American Canyon High School. I'm also the youth commissioner on the American Canyon OSATS Commission and a student intern with the Napa Sierra Club. I want to thank Mayor Washington and City Council members and Mr. Hawley for giving us the opportunity to share our slideshow this evening about sea level rise, its potential impact in American Canyon, and what we can do to protect homes and property. I'll be presenting alongside Paulina Vieira Zambrano and Scott Thomason this evening. Paulina is a former Sierra Club student intern who is currently attending MVC. She's studying to become a doctor and has been awarded a student internship at the University of California, San Francisco for this summer. Paulina is also a member of the Sierra Club Napa Group's executive committee, and she will be talking about the causes of sea level rise and the threats it poses in our first 2 slides. I think you may already be familiar with Mr. Thomason here. He is a retired educator who lives in American Canyon and is the treasurer of the Napa Sierra Club Group.
Alrighty, so I'm Paulina Vieira Zambrano, again. And all right, so I will be talking a little bit about what causes sea level rise. So sea levels have been rising since the last ice age, but the current rate is accelerating due to human influences, including burning of fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gases. Fossil fuel releases greenhouse gases that trap heat in our atmosphere and cause the temperatures in our planet to rise. Now our planet is hotter than it has ever been, and each year it is hotter than the previous year. As you may know, most sea level rise, which is about 3 millimeters per year, happens as ice sheets and glaciers melt, adding on to the ocean's overall volume. And because of the rising temperatures due to the greenhouse effect, global warming is occurring, which is actively causing ice sheets and glaciers to melt at a record pace around the world. And as the Earth's atmosphere and oceans warm up, seawater expands, increasing its volume and causing the sea level to rise overall. Alrighty. So now I'll be going over some of the threats that sea level rise poses. So the first one being ecosystem services, which include regulating temperatures, observing floodwaters, sequestering carbon, and filtering air and water. The second one being infrastructure, including the structural integrity of our buildings. And the final one that I will be mentioning today is our own community health. As sea level rise, floodwaters can also transport toxins and poisons up to 3 miles from their originating source, which poses a large threat to our community health overall. Now I will be passing it on to Mr. Thomason, who will be talking about sea level rise threats in American Canyon specifically. Yeah, please.
How do we change this? Oops. I thought you said There we go. I got it. Oh, yeah. Great. So, scientists project that the Bay will probably experience as much as 6.5 feet of sea level rise by 2100. The study was provided by the San Francisco Bay Conservation Development Commission, often referred to as BCDC, and it used government-released data regarding projected sea level rise. And the Sierra Club's Bay Area Sea Level Rise Committee, and I'm a member of that committee, recently reached out to a local environmental scientist, Triana Anderson, and asked her to use this data to predict any sea level rise in American Canyon. And Ms. Anderson used a median projection of only 4.9 feet of sea level rise rather than the 6.5 feet of sea level rise that the study indicated might be possible. What we see in this slide, and in fact, I'm going to go back to what we see in this slide is parts of American Canyon along Wetlands Drive and an area near existing warehouses are both subject to significant sea level rise in the future. And let me just say that without any action, these areas would be the most prone to flooding. And what you're looking at up there is a map that if I was taller, I'd point that a vertical line westmost is really Wetlands Drive. And again, without any action, that area and the following area, which is a stretch of property between the wetlands and Mazetta's facilities, are both prone to sea level rise in the future. And what I left with each of the city council members is that legend at the bottom with an explanation from Triana Anderson of what each of those color codes refers to. Now Kate's going to talk about what we can do to ensure that the sea level rise that we've just talked about that's projected doesn't really flood any homes in American Canyon.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. Now, there's no stopping to sea level rise. The solution is adaptation, but how and when we adapt matters. Adaptation can range from green or nature-based solutions such as marshland restoration to gray hardscape solutions like seawalls. Sea level rise adaptation can also include aspects of both, such as horizontal or ecotone levees shown in the slide. Horizontal levees resemble a traditional levee, but with more space and a gradual slope for marshes to be able to move inland. Horizontal levees serve as a wide, natural shield, almost like a buffer in front of a regular levee. Instead of a steep dirt wall holding back water, a horizontal levee is a gently sloped area planted with native grasses and wetland plants. When high tides or storms push water toward land, this planted slope slows the water down and absorbs some of its force before it reaches the main levee. Because it's covered in wetland plants, a horizontal levee also creates habitat for birds, fish, and other wildlife. And as water moves slowly through the soil and plant roots underground, the plants help filter out pollution, kind of like a natural water cleaning system. So a horizontal levee doesn't just block floods, it reduces wave energy, helps deal with rising sea levels, supports wildlife, and improves water quality, all at the same time. Now, Paulina will talk about how nature-based solutions can be used in American Canyon specifically.
Thank you, Kate. So the map that we have right here is provided by the San Francisco Bay Conservation and Development Commission as a part of their support for jurisdictions and planners. The map here depicts a natural adaptation suitability for American Canyon. So I'm gonna be talking about what each color represents. I'm not sure if you guys can see all of the colors. There's a couple different colors there. So natural adaptation has been proven to be less costly and more reliable than gray solutions, including seawalls, paving over threatened lands, and etc. The horizontal levees, which Kate talked about previously, are shown in dark purple. In some of those areas, tidal marshes, which could be used to lessen the impacts of flooding from storms, are shown in green. Mudflat augmentation, which would be adding slit or sediment to raise mudflats, is shown in light purple. And finally, marsh migration space is highlighted in magenta color. Okay, so in closing, sea level rise is real and it is not going away. American Canyon, like many other communities in the Bay Area, is subject to sea level rise now and in the future. Here, I'm about to show a short video that was made by Napa County High School students, including two from American Canyon, one of them being Kate Vitt, and the other one being Maya Medell. All of these students are Sierra Club interns, and thank you so much for your time and interest in this topic. Our wildlife and wetlands need your support. And after the video is played, we will be very happy to answer any questions that you may have. I don't think that's playing up there. You might need some support from that. Let's see. Only, yeah.
You've walked along the bay and its wetlands. You've breathed in its beauty.
But the bay and the wetlands aren't just beautiful, they're essential.
Our wetlands clean the water, removing pollution, heavy metals, and toxins.
Shoreline plants and soils store more carbon than even tropical rainforests.
And tidal marshes like these absorb the wave energy from storm surges and tidal floods.
Yes, they soften the force of waves, especially during high tides, which protect our communities from flooding.
These shallow waters, mudflats, and tidal marshes are nurseries for countless fish, birds, and other animals.
Migrating birds depend on our wetlands as a banquet table.
And eelgrass meadows act like lungs of the bay's wetlands, bringing fresh oxygen to us all.
Let's not forget about how important it is for our community to enjoy the incredible beauty and wonderment of the wetlands. For me, walking along these trails helps me with the everyday stress of being a teen.
But all of this is at risk. All of this is at risk.
All of this is at risk.
Sea level rise can drown wetlands. The constant development of new housing and warehouses near the wetlands destroys habitats and threatens the area's biodiversity. It kills animals that depend on the wetlands, which in turn kills the wetlands itself.
And rising groundwater could release old toxins hidden in the soil. Every Bay Area city, including ours, must create a plan for sea level rise.
Will they protect the wetlands or pave them over?
Their choices will shape our entire bay and our lives for decades.
Climate change can feel overwhelming, but right now we actually have power.
This is our chance to protect the bay, its wildlife, and our communities.
Join us, speak up, show our leaders that we care. Together, we can keep the San Francisco Bay alive.
Thank you, Scott, Kate, and Paulina for that presentation and the video. I got to say that, Scott even took the time to visit me at my home, spent about 2 hours at my house, kind of going through some of these things as well. So I appreciate your passion as well. I'd like to open up to council if you have any questions for the group here.
Yes, well, thank you for the presentation. And looking, I think, at a couple of slides back, the nature-based solutions in American Canyon, I think it makes sense that some areas along wetlands edge, probably vertical levees are a necessity because there's housing there. But as we go further north, it seems like there's a decent amount of opportunities to use more of the nature-based solutions. And I know that the city has just received some funding to begin shoreline adaptation planning, which is essentially saying, how do we address sea level rise here in American Canyon? And so the good news is, as much as this is a source of concern, the city is also kind of embarking on a strategy that will do the planning and develop the strategies and then obviously pursue funding to make it happen. So I appreciate you bringing this to us and to our attention. I think it just reinforces that we need to act, and fortunately we are actually starting to go down that lane. But thank you.
Great. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Anyone else? Seeing none. Scott, Kate, Paulina, thank you again for your presentation.
Thank you.
Moving on this evening, at this time, we'll move on and open the floor for public comment on items that are not listed on tonight's agenda. You'll have 3 minutes to make your statement, and then please begin by stating your name for the record. And Madam Clerk, do we have comment cards?
Before I call for oral comments, I do want to note that we did receive one written comment in this category from Karina Cervente. Everyone should have gotten that via email. And I have Karina Cervente, who has asked to make a comment this evening.
Good evening, Karina Cervente, Montevino. I'm here tonight to recognize and thank American Canyon Community Cats for the incredible work they do in our community. Their efforts often go unseen, but the impact is real and lasting. Through their commitment to humane care, education, and responsible population management, they are helping create a healthier and more compassionate community for both animals and residents. I personally experienced their dedication. At one point, I reached out for help with a situation involving a litter of 5 kittens along with their mom, dad, and other unnatural cats. The team showed up and spent over 4 hours working patiently and carefully to safely trap them. It wasn't easy, and I certainly wasn't quick, but they're never rushed and they never gave up. That level of commitment truly stayed with me. Community cats are a reality in many cities, and addressing the issue takes patience, consistency, and heart. American Canyon Community Cats has stepped up to do just that, volunteering their time to trap, neuter, and return cats, provide care, and educate the public. This approach not only reduces overpopulation over time, but also minimizes concerns and improves the well-being of both animals and in our neighborhoods. What stands out most is that this work is driven by volunteers, people who give their time, energy, and resources simply because they care. They are solving problems, filling gaps, and making a meaningful difference in our entire city. I encourage the city to continue supporting and partnering with organizations like this, because when we support compassion and collaboration, we strengthen our entire community. So thank you to American Canyon Community Cats, and thank you for your time. I do have 47 seconds. So American Canyon High School Theater, it's doing a tour of the Aristocats. They have been going to Olón Elementary School in Pinole, Stonebridge School in Napa, and all of our elementary schools here doing providing a show to the students of the Aristocats. So this Friday at 6 p.m. and Saturday at 11, there will be a free show. So please come. You don't have to pay anything. And come and enjoy the Aristocats at American Canyon High School Theater. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karina.
Leon Garcia.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and council members. Leon Garcia, former mayor of American Canyon. I've been on the board for the Community Action Napa Valley for many, many years, and I'd like to tell you some information about it. In 1964, President Lyndon Johnson signed into law the Economic Opportunity Act to eliminate the paradox of poverty in the midst of plenty in this nation. It opened the opportunity for an education and training, the opportunity to work, the opportunity to live life in decency and dignity. In response to Napa's local community leaders and local governments, faith communities, schools, low-income residents, came together to create a vehicle for these funds. In May of 1965, Napa County Council for Economic Opportunity, that's a long word, now known as Community Action Napa Valley, was granted nonprofit status. Today, Canby operates the food bank, Meals on Wheels, Wellness on Wheels, and 2 licensed preschools for low-income students. In accomplishing our mission, part of the food bank program is the Napa Food Pantry, which offers 7 locations throughout Napa County. In February of 2026, alone we served 1,598 congregate meals to over 80 seniors and delivered 9,598 meals to more than 400 homebound seniors, each paired with a wellness visit to ensure their safety and well-being. During the same month, through Napa County, the food bank distributed 87,000 pounds of food to 13,581 individuals, continuing uninterrupted service despite concerns about potential CalFresh, that's from the state, benefits loss and ensuring no one experienced a gap in food access. We made sure everybody got the food. We also impacted our impact. At the American Canyon Activity Center, located on Elliott Drive, we now offer free hot lunches for seniors on Tuesdays and Thursdays, creating more opportunities for connection and engagement. And to further increase access, we launched a new Luna Free Market at 200 Antonino Drive in American Canyon, open every 4th Monday from 2:30 to 3:30. Also, with an agreement with Canby, the Kiwanis Club of American Canyon volunteers support food distribution, providing access to the food pantry. Canby also distributes food to residents of Valley View and Las Casitas communities. These efforts reflect Canby's deep commitment to supporting the health and well-being of American Canyon residents. They're providing essential services, stability, dignity, and connection for our community every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Leon.
Yvonne Baginski.
Thanks, Yvonne.
Good evening. My name is Yvonne Baginski, and I'm representing the Napa Solano Audubon Society today. I wanted to comment on those smoking teenagers and say when I was 16 years old, we had a high school room where we could all go smoke. It was called the Lounge, and we were allowed to smoke in the lounge, and it was a Catholic all-girl high school, so there you go. Anyway, I'm here today to brag a little bit about the brochures. I want to thank the council for granting us the funding. We had 1,000 of these brochures printed, and we had signs printed that are going to go into the kiosk, and we also are advertising this at all of the Earth Day and wildlife events. So if you'd like more brochures, please let me know. They're sitting in a box in my closet, and I'd be happy to see them gone and out in the public. The bird walks actually end this Sunday. This Sunday will be the last bird walk until fall because the birds leave. They go away for the summer and they go back to their nesting grounds way up in the Arctic. So we have some bird walks happening in Benicia. There's some birds that hang around in Benicia, but we welcome all of you to come back in the fall and take a beginning bird walk. I've been putting these brochures out in libraries in Vallejo and Cordelia and Fairfield and letting people know about it. And about 10 to 15 people show up for these bird walks every Sunday, and it's always different people. So I welcome you to join us on the bird walk and know that area is very, very important to these birds, especially when they're migrating. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Excuse me, Yvonne, can you send me the electronic version of these flyers? Do you have like the digital version of this? I'd like to get a copy of it. Thank you.
I have no other speaker cards. I do have one hand raised online.
Okay.
Oh, go. No, I haven't called it yet. Go.
Cindy Biederman. I have two hats to wear today. One is community member, so Mr. Hawley, thank you for listening. Last time I was here, I appreciate it. I think Public Works, Bill Dodson did an amazing job, and his other counterpart, which I don't remember his name, but I also received the pictures. Not only are the lights fixed, the frame was painted, and it was clean. So thank you. I greatly appreciate that. To put my Napa County Office Education Board Trustee hat on for American Canyon, I sent out some emails. I don't know if you guys received it or not, but tomorrow at 5:30 to 6:30 at the Donaldson Way Elementary School, the Napa County Office Education will come down. They're doing their strategic planning. We have a new Napa County Superintendent, Josh Schultz. I don't know if you guys met him, coming out to meet him for one, he'll be there. For two, we got him coming down to American Canyon instead of just staying in Napa with our new superintendent. But we want some feedback, and what American Canyon parents do here in the community is that they really do rally on their kids. And this is an opportunity for resources. A lot of what our job is to support districts, to support the vulnerable kids, disabled children, and some of the after schools and preschool programs. But anyway, I don't care if you have kids or not, come out and meet everybody tomorrow night. But you guys know our community, and that's what we need. You know, one thing we do is show up and show out. So thanks.
Thank you, Cindy.
I'm calling Justin Hamilton Hole. Go ahead, Justin.
Thank you, Teresa, and good evening, Mayor Councilman, Jason Hawley, and my neighbor, Melissa. I want to shout out, I think I missed my mayor at the later lunch. Amazing. City Napa, City Councilman, Mary Luz was there. It's so amazing, plus off. And the second thing is, I want to have a little bit update on rounding out we get some work on us carrying some more and put the round out there. And then the third one is I want to see if there's going to be more update painting tree. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. No one else online?
I have no other hands raised online.
Okay, thank you. No one inside of the room? I'll close public comment and move to agenda changes. Council, are there any agenda changes? There are actually 4 items on consent. Hearing none, I'll accept the motion.
Go ahead. There are no changes. Excuse me. I move that we accept the agenda.
I'll second.
We have a second. Can we get a roll call, please, Madam Clerk?
Yes. Got it, Brenda. Councilmember Cruz?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamatina?
Yes.
Councilmember Oro?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joseph?
Yes.
Mayor Washington?
Yes. Okay, next is public hearing. We actually do not have anything for public hearing this evening, so we'll move on to the business items. We have one business item on tonight's agenda. Starts with item number 13, expanding city limit northerly to South Kelly Road. Mr. Holly.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. The item tonight are 3 different actions staff is recommending that the council take related to city limits and extending those limits northerly to South Kelly Road. The first action relates to an agreement with Napa County related to our urban limit line and our regional housing needs allocation. The second relates to a property tax sharing agreement for one of the areas, and then the third item would be a property tax sharing agreement to another one of the areas. The story of growth is really the story of American Canyon. When we incorporated in 1992, we had a much smaller footprint than our founders had intended, with the promise to be able to continue to grow as the need arose. We've done it numerous times over the years and are poised to do it again in the near future. It's not actually that the city who defines those boundaries. It's a somewhat little-known government organization by the name of Napa County Local Agency Formation Commission, the LAFCO. It's not a comedy club. It's literally a government organization, but I like to joke of it as a comedy club. And it's the LAFCO that decides where those boundaries are. And the city of, pardon me, the city of American Canyon has applied to annex additional lands into our city limits, and we applied to that LAFCO to do that. We did that last fall for about 83 acres in and around Watson Lane. That's known as the Paoli Watson Lane affected territory. A picture of that actually shows up in the packet on page, what page that is in the packet? Yeah, page 134 of the packet, kind of in those yellow lines. In addition to that area in and around Watson Lane, the property owners of adjacent lands, these lands known as the Hess-Laird affected territory, have also applied to LAFCO to annex inside of the city limits. It can go either way, so the LAFCO will take applications either from a city like we did for Paoli Watson Lane, or the LAFCO will take applications from property owners. And in the case of the Hess-Laird affected territory, it's the property owners who have applied to annex that land. And a map of that shows up on page, page 149 of the packet is as an example of the Hess and Laird properties. The properties within the Paoli Watson Lane area have a existing mix of residential and industrial general plan designations, while the lands within the Hess-Laird affected territory have a industrial general plan designation. There's a lot of win-wins in these proposals. There's wins in as far as helping Napa County address some of their regional housing requirements, and there's wins for the city as we help grow our future boundary, expand our population, and expand our population base. And there's even broader wins that are available for the entire region. Highway 29, with its challenges with traffic, has an alternative that's planned known as Newell Drive. This is to the east of Highway 29, and these annexations will pave the way for that alternative route to come to fruition, and will be part of that legacy as that activity expands. Napa County has asked that as we expand these boundaries, including the American Canyon Urban Limit Line, as we expand those boundaries, they've asked that we take on some of their housing obligations, 15% during the first 16 years of this agreement, and then 10% thereafter. Estimates of what that would be in a dwelling unit perspective is about 25 units per year, 15 units per year thereafter, and it's for planning purposes. These aren't actually units that are built. It's just we have to plan for them as part of our planning exercises in addition to our own. Should be noted, these requirements come from the state. They're not something that the locals are putting forward. It's something that the legislature and the State Housing and Community Development Department are putting forward through the Association of Bay Area Governments. These three agreements are all prerequisites for the annexations to proceed forward. It's a requirement of LAFCO rules that the lands be within the urban limit line and that we have these tax sharing agreements first before they could act, although those applications are ready and could be acted on as soon as the June 1st LAFCO meeting. Specifically as it relates to the sharing of property tax, the city and the county have been working together along with the fire district to negotiate what the property tax revenue would be prospectively. The lands within the Paley-Watson Lane affected territory are already within the boundary of the fire district, and so they already receive revenue from those areas. So the sharing of property tax would just be between the city and the county. And that's attachment to Exhibit A is the proposed agreement. It would note a 50-50 share initially of the county's allocations, and then that would increase upon the transfer of the RENA units from that process going forward, and that would go to 75% American Canyon and 25% to the county. A little more complicated for the Hessler area. That's outside of the fire district and is proposed to be moved into the fire district as well. That would also be done by LAFCO. And here, the county's structural fire property tax revenue would go directly back over to the fire district now, in addition to 5% of the county's regular allocations, and then the county and the city would share the remaining 95%. And once ABAG approves those transfer of housing allocations, then the share would increase for the city up to 70%, and then the county's share would go down to 25%. Like I mentioned before, these agreements are prerequisites for LAFCO taking action. If the council is prepared to act on these agreements tonight, then it would set the stage for the fire district to proceed next week, and then the county the following week. Ultimately, LAFCO approval would potentially occur on June 1st. There are agreements in place already that require two of the larger landowners within these areas to dedicate land for Newell Drive, and so the reality of that roadway network coming to fruition becomes more real and real once those annexations take place and those property owners make those dedications that are required for those agreements. Of course, those property owners benefit by being in the city as they're then able to develop their property in ways that they couldn't today. Happy to answer any questions that the council has or that the public has, and staff recommends approval of these three resolutions.
Thank you, Mr. Hawley. I'll start with council. Any clarifying questions prior to opening it up to public comment? Vice Mayor?
Yeah, we did receive a comment today addressing the urban limit line, and I just want to confirm that our city attorney is comfortable with what we're doing in spite of that comment?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you. Everything else will just be commentary that I can do after public hearing or public comment.
Okay. Councilmember Oral.
I'll wait until after public comment.
Okay. At this time, I would like to open it up to public comment for anyone interested in making a comment on item number 13. Beth?
Good evening, Beth Marcus. I was just curious, how many more houses would we be required to build with that negotiation?
Mr. Hawley?
I was bugging him about getting closer to the mic, so he wasn't paying attention to the question. She was asking about how many proposed houses, so.
Thank you, and I apologize. He was distracting me. At the moment, there are no houses that are proposed. The property and the Hess Laird has a general industrial designation. The houses within the Watson Lane area have an estate residential designation, and then there's also industrial designation. Those designations can't change for 2 years until after the LAFCO annexation. The properties in and around Watson Lane with the estate residential designation, many of them already have houses on them. It's possible that one or two of them could put some additional ADUs or additional houses on them, but it would take changes in zoning, changes in general plan designations related to a specific development proposal before additional houses could come forward or be proposed.
If I can butt in, I think the other part of that is it depends on what the numbers are during each RENA cycle. They're going to tell us how many units have to be built, and then it's just a math thing. If the county has 100 units requirement, then in the first phase we have to build 15% or 15. So the number we have to build to address the county's obligation kind of depends on whatever the state gives us as a number, and then we just calculate the 15%. So that's the other answer.
That's correct. And I apologize. I think I misunderstood the question.
Well,
But Mark-
when you're
Mark answered it correctly.
Yeah, I noticed that, it's Councilmember Oro is messing with our staff, and, so
Mark's
I
correct.
thought I would butt in. Thank you.
Any other speaker cards, Madam Clerk?
I have no speaker cards. I do have one hand raised online.
Okay, we have one hand raised inside here too. Leon?
Thank you. This sounds very familiar to me. I'm sure Councilmember Joseph knows this well. This would be in about, I think, 2001, 2002. Napa County was in a very tight bind with the state because they weren't meeting farm worker housing requirements. And we're building like crazy. So, hat in hand, they came down and, well, we're not going to criticize you for being out of control in American Canyon anymore right now, but we'll work out a deal with you. So from Green Island Road to the airport, we got all that land in that deal. And we managed to meet that housing requirement. I think, do I have that accurate, Councilmember Joseph? Yeah. So it sounds like this is deja vu all over again in many respects, but, there was benefits to us from making that decision with them. Thank you.
Thank you, Leon. And the call online?
Okay. Okay, I have. Okay, I have S. Sanders. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. My name is Skylar Sanders. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. My name is Skylar Sanders, and I'm speaking on behalf of American Canyon One LLC regarding what has been agendized as item 14. I think it's been referred to as 13, but I think we're both talking about the same thing, the expansion of the urban limit line. As noted for the record, I have submitted both through the e-comment as well as through a separate written statement to both the city clerk and city attorney, AC1's position on this matter, which is that AC1 is not opposed to the development, annexation, transportation improvement, or long-range housing plans. Our concern is with the process the city is using here. As the city's own agenda materials state, the Hess Laird affected territory is outside the existing urban limit line, and item 14 is premised on expanding that line to include the property. The problem is that the 2008 urban limit line was adopted through an initiative process, and the operative 2008 document expressly states that the urban limit line, again, approved by resolution by this council, cannot be changed without a vote of the voters of the city at a subsequent city election. The same documents also state that the line was intended to remain in effect through January 1st, 2030. So this is not about whether development may someday occur. It is about whether the city can expand a voter-adopted urban limit line by agreement and resolution without first going back to the voters as required by the 2008 measure. In our view, it cannot. We respectfully ask the council not to approve item 14 to the extent it depends on expanding the existing urban limit line without voter approval, and instead to pursue any such change through the process required by the 2008 resolution and initiative. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. Any other person online?
I do. Sorry, it just takes a second to swap them out here. I have Justin Hamilton Hole. Go ahead, Justin.
Thank you, Teresa. I like to see more housing, but I want to see if we can bring back that time when we had agenda. We can just bring that back to West Carrington more housing, like more housing. I know it's 2027 it'll be next year, but I want to see if we can bring that back because there's no housing about my house. We need to see if we can get somebody to put in sidewalk in there. And I'm thinking about bring that back to just in the future. Thank you. West Carrington more. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. And I want to, for the record, stand corrected that this is item number 14. If there's no other public comment.
I have one more. Hugh Marquez. Give me 1 second. Hugh, go ahead. You might be muted, Hugh.
Oh, shit. Am I muted now?
Yep.
Am I muted now? God.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. I have a question. The Hess Laird, if we expand this urban limit line, is part of this to get a timeline for an east corridor? So for this urban, my curiosity is with this urban limit line. I know there's been a talk from wetlands, from Newell to going all the way down to South Kelly Road. And if this does go through, is there a proposed timeline when we would have an east side corridor off of 29? Thank you.
Mr. Hawley?
Yes, Mayor, happy to answer that. I wouldn't say that there's a specific timeline necessarily, but these agreements and the series of processes ending in the LAFCO annexation facilitate Newell Drive occurring. There are two landowners with agreements that obligate the dedication of right-of-way for the road to eventually go on. Acquiring land to put new roads is one of the key steps in the development of a process where roads get built. So to the extent you have a checklist of things you have to do and you get some of those items on the checklist done, which is what this agreements do, then yeah, it encourages that timeline to happen. Absent these agreements and absent these annexations, then the timeline becomes much longer and more difficult. So there isn't a particular date in mind. I will note the urban limit line agreement with the county specifically requires the city, when approving future development proposals, should they occur, that we think about Newell Drive and that we acquire to the greatest extent we can the dedication of lands and the imposition of road construction. So the county, viewing as much as we do important the construction of Newell Drive, putting it upon us now that these lands be annexed to actually do that and to make sure that that happens, which I think we would do anyway, but it's the county's way of reminding us that we're going to do that. So to the extent we're able to do that in those future development applications, that agreement would say we need to do that. So not a particular timeline, but this lines up the necessary prerequisites to make it happen.
Thank you, Mr. Hawley. Anybody else online?
I have no other hands raised.
Anyone else in the room? Mr. Hess?
Good evening, Rick Hess, representing the Hess Laird project. First, I'd like to thank the council and certainly Mr. Hawley. This has been a long process. It's been talked about for a long time, trying to get that east side connection. And as Mr. Hawley said, Mr. Laird, who's also here, we have agreed that if we can get this process through annexation, that we're certainly willing to grant the right-of-way for that road. And we're in full support of the package that you have before you tonight, and encourage you to continue to move forward. And this simply gives the city an opportunity to plan our future and lands that have been contemplated for a long time. So we look forward to the opportunity to work with the city in the future to come up with a plan that works for all of us. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hess. Any other questions? Any other comments? Seeing none, I'll close public comment on item number 14 and turn back to council for further discussion. Councilmember Oro.
Yeah, I've always understood that the 2000 urban limit line was a vote of the people and that we had to wait until 2030. And in light of the caller's comments from Mr. Sanders around Resolution 2008-105, in here it states, well, they state that it creates a legal problem and that it has to be affirmed through an initiative, and that it may not change prior to 2030, and that any modification of the UL will require a subsequent vote, and I'm assuming of the people. I'd just love to hear from the city attorney and understand why it's okay now, and so the public kind of knows how we're getting to this conclusion.
Sure. These are prerequisite actions that the city is taking, and it's not the only party that needs to act and take these prerequisite actions before this property can proceed to have the annexation application reviewed by LAFCO. So the action taken tonight by the council does not violate the restriction purported to exist under the initiative, which was actually approved by council, I believe, back in 2008. I would also note that the urban limit line restriction expires by the terms of the council-approved resolution by January 1st, 2030. And so in sum total, there's nothing about the action you're taking tonight that violates that. And so that's the reason.
Is it fair to think that we are expanding the ULL tonight, or we're setting a prereq?
Technically not.
Okay.
You are taking the first step in a matter that needs approval by other parties and that LAFCO requires before it can consider the application by the owner for annexation. So that for all those reasons, the action you're taking tonight does not violate any restrictions that anyone might otherwise read into that that previous resolution where the council, prior council, adopted a matter rather than to put it before a vote of the people.
Okay, and then just one last question around initiatives or requests like this. If it's a general public thing that where we're asking, I guess, the voters to approve land that isn't owned by them, but this is a request from landowner request for it to happen. Can you talk to me a little bit about what makes that different?
It doesn't make it different per se as to whether or not there would be a perceived conflict with the apparent restriction to expand the urban limit line. But as was mentioned previously by your city manager, an application to LAFCO for annexation can either come from the city interested in the annexation, or it can come from the property owner that desires to be included in those city limits. It's just it's one part of a lengthy process. These things don't happen overnight. And like we mentioned and was mentioned in the staff report, this is just the first action. The county will have to take an action as well. The fire district will have to take an action. This will all get bundled up into the application for annexation with LAFCO, and that will take some time for LAFCO to sort through. So it's likely that it will in fact be 2030 before any of this comes to fruition. But for all those reasons, the action that is recommended for you to take tonight does not violate that restriction.
Yeah, thank you for that. And then just as you were speaking, I'm not sure I asked the question correctly. And I actually do sit on LAFCO, and we do review owner-initiated requests to be part of city services. Those don't take voter initiatives. They actually go through a whole process.
Correct. I misunderstood the question.
And I probably misstated it.
I
yeah.
didn't understand what
I was
was the
listening
question.
to Beth talk over there while trying to tell Jason what to do. So, yeah.
So yes, I concur with what you just said.
Right. Okay. So I think that's probably that is a major differentiator when it's a landowner initiated request.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, maybe? No?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Vice Mayor Joseph.
Just to add to that discussion, I recall it's a few months ago that 1600 Green Island Road, as a for instance, was approved by LAFCO to be included in our sphere of influence, even though it is also outside the urban limit line. So clearly, two things can happen at the same time. So I'm okay with the property tax sharing agreement. As I mentioned to the city manager, I'm always uncomfortable committing to any kind of a percentage forevermore because you never know what that number is going to be. But by the same token, I'm pretty sure the county doesn't like to give up 75% of its property tax increment. And so we're both kind of making a leap of faith that this will work itself out. So I think it's as fair as it can be. The other point, of course, because I'm the old guy on the council, I remember when the city first incorporated. I showed up shortly afterwards, but there was much frustration over the incorporation process. The American Canyon residents wanted to have it all the way to Soskel Ridge. It was shaved back and then shaved back and shaved back some more. And there's a certain amount of satisfaction that here we are some 30 years later, polishing off probably the last of the annexations that really do square off the city and makes it probably what it should have been 30 plus years ago. And I'm also impressed that when we first started talking about annexations, even annexations that were in the sphere of influence, it was a packed house, and it was not an easy issue to get the board to approve it, or LAFCO or anyone else. So as our former mayor points out, we've come a long way. The last piece to the puzzle is the Newell extension, and I appreciate Hugh Marquez asking for a timeline. And I've said this on a number of occasions, so I'll say it again. We really do need to start looking at the Newell extension. It is part of the circulation plan that we've had for over 30 years. It needs to be fast-tracked. We need to look at all the elements involved and seriously talk about how do we expedite it. It's easy to do something sequentially, and it really will take 20 or 30 years if we do everything step 1, step 2, step 3. But I believe we can also be a little more creative and start looking at how we can combine things and strategically. How can we craft a project that we can literally give to the developer and say, you're going to build this part of the road, you're going to build that part of the road, and the city's role is more kind of inspecting it to make sure it's done according to plan. But I do believe that if we try to do all of this ourselves, it really will take 20 or 30 years. I do think, on the other hand, if we go to the property owners adjacent and say, you've got to build this, we might be surprised at how quickly we could get it finished. And that is my sincere hope, that we start paying attention to how do we make it happen, what are the obstacles, and how do we get around them. So this, of course, is the necessary first step, but I'd like to see us start to pay more attention to how do we make it happen.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Any other comments? Seeing none, well, first, thank you, Mr. Hawley, and thank you, Ms. Highsmith, for the explanations and the answers that you gave earlier. To my colleagues, I'll accept the motion.
All right, I'll go ahead and do that. So if there are no other questions, I move that we adopt the 3 resolutions. Number 1, approving an urban limit line and regional housing needs allocation agreement with Napa County. Number 2, approving the Powley-Watson Lane affected territory property tax sharing agreement. And number 3, a resolution approving the Hess-Laird affected territory property tax sharing the agreement.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a second. Madam Clerk, can you do a roll call, please?
Councilmember Cruz?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamatina?
Yes.
Councilmember Oro?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joseph?
Yes.
Mayor Washington?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Now, moving on to our management and staff reports. Item number 15, the quarter 4 fiscal year 25-26 capital project schedule updates by our Public Works Director, Erica Amani Smithies. Welcome back from vacation.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Council, Community, American Canyon. Erica Amani Smithies, Public Works Director, here to give you the fourth quarter update before, as we're entering into it. We're towards the end of the beginning of the first month of it, but I was going to give you a little slideshow first to show you the CIP activity dates. Some of these are active construction, some that were completed earlier this past quarter. First of all, we're all aware we had a ribbon cutting earlier this year, in the third quarter of this fiscal year. That here is the Wetlands Hedge Enhancement Project. They have completed their punch list items, so a notice of completion should be coming soon in the next quarter or fiscal quarter. We have still some weed management happening through August, so we might be waiting for the notice of completion into August. But as you can see, the project's thriving out there, and I'm sure the rains that we're getting continuously here in April will continue to help the growth, along with the irrigation that we have installed. American Canyon Road East, this was a Highway Safety Improvement Program grant, as well as some local funding that is now substantially completed. Punch list items have also been completed, and those completion will be shown here in the next couple of months. Melvin Sidewalk Drainage Project, I know this has been ongoing. They have completed the raised crosswalk speed tables. I heard between the rain today, the posts went in for the new rapid reflective beacons. That'll be the crosswalk, lighted crosswalk, flashing beacons. And then what we're waiting on is striping. With the rain, we had to stop and halt. And then the final speed humps between the new raised crosswalk table and end of Poco to Caser. Those will be going in with the striping timing there. They're just stick down. They're not going to be any more concrete or asphalt work. And then city staff will come in and restripe the rest of the street system, because that was not included in the original scope of work, but city staff can complete that work.
Director Smithies, we're laughing over here because both Melissa and I were made aware of the speed table today.
Okay. Oh, how fast were you going?
Not fast, but we were aware of it. That's what I'm saying,
good.
you know, right? Yeah. Yeah. We're like, I'm going to stop and smell the roses at Beth's house now. So, yeah.
You know
So,
what?
yeah.
During my travels the past few weeks, France had those everywhere. There were intersections everywhere. The whole intersection was raised up, speed tables. So on those not traffic calming for non-signalized and non-signed intersections was great, uncontrolled intersections. Green Island Road, as we know, it's ongoing. That that has been, there's been some kerfuffles in the last couple of weeks, but we've been smooth through there. Thank you, City Manager Holly, for helping smooth some of that transition out, and our chamber for expediting some meetings with the commercial property owners out there. Unfortunately, the rain has also dampened or slowed our progress. No pun intended there, but we're working through that. I was just informed today that there was some planned work, Memorial Day weekend. That too is probably going to slow down now that we've had substantial rain in April and not just some light showers. So more to come on that. Here's just some more highlights at 501 Green Island where they're doing the edge line work. Oops. Here in Mazetta Court, we worked with Mazetta as far as getting a mid-block crossing for their employees, because it's a pretty grand central station through that court. If you've ever driven through it, I mean, it slowed down a little bit with Coca-Cola moving out, but there's still quite a bit of traffic through there, so they wanted to they worked with the city staff to get a mid-block crossing installed there, and it's nice that we've been able to work with the property owner, the business owner, to help make that happen. Here's some additional ongoing aerials. Consor, our construction management crew, is doing these aerial imaging as part of their contract. And Silver Oak and Northampton Parks restroom project. Amazing they got the work done during the spring break as far as on Silver Oak, but the bathroom should be coming next week, so that'll be exciting. We'll have more to come on that. I'm sure we'll hear from our communications team on what they have planned for that, but we will be seeing cranes similar to what we saw at Wetlands Edge at Northampton and Silver Oak. So here's another view. This is actually Northampton when they were doing the utility and then the pad construction. And then Veterans Park, they're doing the construction installation of the new playground there, so that's exciting. That should be completed by the end of this fiscal year. So it's exciting to see so much work activity happening. And as far as other projects that are not on this line, we have the two comm system upgrades, communication upgrades for the wastewater facility or water reclamation facility and water treatment plant, SCADA. That is ongoing, should be substantially completed as far as the water reclamation facility later this year, and then water treatment to follow. Right now, advertising awarded for construction. Zone 5 water pump station closes tomorrow, so it'll be exciting to see what kind of bids we get, and that award will come to council shortly following review of those bids. And then South Kelly Highway 29, we're pending and awaiting right-of-way clearance, and working with our developer to the south of South Kelly. And then we have these sewer upgrades on Highway 29 and the Andrew Road sewer that we're finalizing the PS&E, so that should be going out soon in this quarter. And then design, Melvin Park tennis courts, now that we have responses on different striping alternatives, we're going to be finalizing that package for advertisement. Green Island Road, also waiting in the wings to complete that. And the Melvin Road pavement rehabilitation project's an in-house project, but we're working on the paperwork for Caltrans, which is the environmental review and the field review with them to authorize the funds and just move the project forward through the whole Caltrans process for federal funding. These are the accomplishments in the past 90 days. Goals for the next 90 days, complete Green Island Road. It'll probably be in the first quarter, second quarter of the fiscal year. Veterans Park Playground, it'll be ongoing, but hopefully that'll be completed in the next, substantially completed in the next 90 days. Wetlands Edge Enhancement, have the notice completion. Melvin Sidewalk, have the notice completion. SCADA upgrades, and then hopefully notice of completion for both Silver Oak, Northampton Park restrooms, and the guardrail project. And then awarding the pump station, advertising the park tennis courts at Melvin Park Tennis Courts, advertising SS4, Green Island Road, and South Kelly Tower Road projects. And then excuse me, I think I'm repeating myself a little bit here. Melvin Road, beginning the preliminary design and citywide pavement rejuvenation project. Because of the grant funding for Melvin Road, we paused it's mostly the Montevino, it's a slurry microsurface project. Pausing that to expedite the grant funding that we have a little over a year and a half to complete and expend by the end of 2027 with Caltrans. So Melvin, we really got to push forward and get that rolling, and then, but we could be able to squeeze in the slurry maintenance on the east side of town, and then begin pre-design for Rancho Phase 2, Main Street ADA upgrades. We need to get that rocking and rolling. And then the Melvin Park, we have 13 firms that submitted, proposed on that. So Deputy City Manager Ellie Ikeda and I have some time to review those. We have a little bit of homework. We've been given some guidance on it, but I believe she has time to help me get that evaluated. Everyone else has evaluated it, but we got to get those reviewed and see if we can get that back to council to award. And then Linwood Park improvements, hopefully begin design on that project. And then Main Street Park improvements, again, we talk about the ADA improvements. And then wetlands restoration, public access. We brought that for award to you a few weeks ago. The contracts are running for signature, so hopefully that'll be kicking out and starting design here in the next couple of months. So with that, I'm open for any questions. You have a map and the schedule we've updated. And I really appreciate the engineering team getting this up to you, because I was out of town when this was all updated, and they did a fantastic job, especially with the presentation, show and tell.
Well, thank you, Erica. I mean, you and your team have always been doing an amazing job, and I'm exhausted just hearing all the stuff that you guys are doing. So, but I appreciate what you're doing, so thank you. Vice Mayor Joseph.
Great report. On the Zone 5 water pump, has there been a lot of interest as far as bidding activity?
The mandatory pre-bid walkthrough was well attended, so I keep getting updates from my engineer going, we don't have any bids yet. I said, that's normal. Well, they usually wait till the last minute to file online, so looking forward to seeing the results tomorrow, and perhaps City Manager Holly can send a little blind CC to you guys, let you know what the preliminary results are.
So now they turn them in online? They don't, back in my day, they would be hovering around, and about 5 minutes before the deadline, they'd all rush in and say, here it is. And
COVID really switched things up, and then with OpenGov, we have that platform availability, so.
There you have it, technology.
You still have folks that come in here want the live hearing, but.
Okay. All right. Very good. Good luck on the bid.
Thank you.
Yeah, seeing no other questions from the rest of the council, thank you again for the update, and great job.
All right.
Mr. Holly, any other staff reports?
Correct. Deputy City Manager Akita has some updates, as does Director Cooper.
Yes, thank you. I'm here to tell you all the wonderful things that are happening over the next couple weeks. On April 23rd, we have the American Canyon Chamber of Commerce, in partnership with Adapt Real Estate, will be hosting their coffee chat from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And then on Saturday, April 25th, is a busy day. The Napa Valley Unified School District, Napa Junction PTA, will be hosting a 5K run and walk at the wetlands starting at 8:30 a.m. So if you're planning on going out there, I would completely avoid that time till about 12 o'clock. I would maybe go in the afternoon if you need to walk your dog or get your run in or get your walk in, because you might get run over by a bunch of elementary school kids who are going to be doing their 5K. Also that day, over at the Mycologic Center, there is going to be an annual wellness vaccine and microchip clinic from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then also over at the American Canyon Library, we have the book donation from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then if you don't forget, all of you are supposed to be over at the Doubletree Hotel for our annual community recognition dinner from 5 to 8 p.m. I'll see you all there. And then on May 1st, the American Canyon Arts Foundation will be hosting their ukulele jammers at the Mycologic Center from 6 to 8 p.m. And then on May 2nd, at the Napa County Bicycle Coalition will be hosting their Bike Fest at Oxbow Commons from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then please join us on May 5th right here in the council chambers to be a part of the community discussion, as the council will review the public draft of our Parks and Recreation Master Plan. So if you'd like to provide public comment and feedback, that is your opportunity as part of the community and as a stakeholder. Please, we want to hear your feedback, and I'm sure the council would like to hear your feedback that evening. And that is going to be an opportunity for you to speak directly to your council and tell them exactly how wonderful you love your master plan. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, hello again, Mayor, council members, and members of the public. Brent Cooper, Community Development Director. Wanted to give you an update that you've been waiting for a very long time. In the spirit of cooperation, we've been working hand in hand over the last month, very cooperatively with the Home to Suites builder.
What?
And I'm happy to announce that on Thursday, we should be in a position to issue a certificate of occupancy.
Yeah.
Long last.
This is like 2 days from now, kind of?
2 days from now. It was, so I've said before, we've never been closer, but this time I mean it. Thank you.
Thank you, Brent. Anything else, Mr. Hawley? No? Okay. Moving on to our mayor, council comments, and committee reports, starting with you, Vice Mayor.
Well, as you know, I submitted my written report. Just want to highlight, Arvin's not here, but made it to the Holy Festival of Colors, and the crowd was a little subdued because it rained in the morning, and obviously that intimidated some people, but as we all know, the weather acknowledges some of our special events, and it stopped raining during the time and then started raining later that evening. So it was a great time. Everybody enjoyed themselves. And looking forward to the ukulele jamming session on May 1st.
Councilmember Oral.
Nothing to add.
Nothing to add. Councilmember Lamartina.
Nothing.
Councilmember Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I did not get a chance to submit my report, but I did attend on Monday. It was a roundtable discussion with the Cal Cities, with Assemblymember Shavo. It was with council members and leadership from up and down the state. We just talked about different bills that were authored to help military veterans, families, in that sort. We'll be attending Cal Cities Leadership Summit tomorrow, so I'll be leaving tomorrow morning. And again, I look forward to watching David Oro present. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any future agenda items, starting with you, Vice Mayor?
None at this time.
None? Okay. Councilmember Oral? No. Councilmember Lamartina?
No.
Councilmember Cruz? Okay. No one has any future agenda items. So we've concluded our business for this evening, and we are now adjourned. Good night, American Canyon.